Lauren Greenwood is an actor and director currently starring in the play New Dawn Fades, a play all about the band Joy Division and the life and times of their frontman Ian Curtis.
We discussed her artistic influences, her favourite role so far, and of course, her favourite music.
Lauren Greenwood, thank you for joining us today on One More Music Pod.
Hi.
So you are an actor and director currently starring in the play New Dawn Fades. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I wanted to start by going back to the beginning, really, and asking you, who were your influences growing up and how did you get into acting?
Well, I got into it really young actually. So I think I was maybe like 6 or 7 when I started acting classes. And we went to the pantomime at Oldham Coliseum. I think I must have been like, I want to do that. So I ended up doing some classes there at the Oldham Coliseum with an actor and teacher called Judith Barker. And I stayed with her until I was maybe 21 and did classes with her for all that time. So yeah, she was very influential. Yeah, and so I've done it ever since then, really.
Have you got a particularly favourite role that you've played so far? Is it David Curtis and New Dawn Phase, or is it something you've done maybe a little bit earlier on in your career?
Yeah, I do really like playing Debbie, and it's a great play to be a part of. I think the last couple of years, I've been really lucky, and I've managed to play like quite a few different like great parts, and lots of theatre because I love doing theatre. I love being part of like an ensemble, a part of a team. It's just a different experience being an actor and being able to do that on stage and especially with things like New Dawn Fade, you get to travel around a lot, go to lots of different theatres. So that's really special. I'm working on a show as well called Strawberry Jack, and I've been part of that cast now since 2023. So the end of 2023, I joined that cast. That's Joe O'Byrne's Strawberry Jack. And Joe is doing loads of great things. He's touring with a lot of different shows, and so that's a great role. Well, I get to do 2 roles in that play, so that's really good. It's very challenging, and the roles are very different. So that's a good for me as an actor to kind of get my teeth into. But yeah, lots of different roles over I'd say like last 3 years, 4 years. Have been like great roles for me and continuing work, which is always great as an actor to have work.
Is
Yeah.
there a particular venue that you've that's kind of been a dream venue? Because obviously I know next year or this year, sorry, you're at the Lowry. Is there a particular venue that you're looking forward to, or you've been to in the past that you just kind of it's took you back and you've gone, wow, I didn't expect to be here.
I mean, the Lowry, yeah, is going to be a big one, and it's super exciting because I'm from Manchester originally. So to be able to get to play at the Lowry and also direct is a really big deal for me, and it's really exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. I think on the last tour we did the Blackpool Grand, and that was also incredible because it's just such a beautiful theatre. So like being there as well, I was just like, wow, this is really cool, and not many people get the chance to do this. So I think before we went on stage at the Blackpool Grand, I just went downstairs and just like stood on the stage and like looked out and had a bit of time to like reflect on everything. And the ushers and the people that worked there were getting briefed and they like were doing their thing. But I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've made it moment kind of thing.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's talk about New Dawn Fades then. So, for those who don't know what it is, could you just give us a quick introduction to the play, what it's about, and tell us about the character that you play?
Yeah, so it's a play that follows the band Joy Division. And they were a post-punk band in the 70s in Manchester. And their lead singer was Ian Curtis. And so the story really does center around Ian and his time with the band and how they kind of formed the band. And also it has like his relationship with Debbie as well. So you kind of have a bit of an insight into their relationship and also Ian's relationship with the band. And it's narrated by Tony Wilson. So Tony Wilson kind of takes you on this journey throughout the play, and you also get a lot of history of Manchester and things like that. So it's a good mix, really. It's nice for those that love Joy Division to go and see it. Maybe those that aren't aware of Joy Division but like kind of have interest in music, it's nice. And also, if you don't have any of those things, but maybe you love Manchester or you're from Manchester, like you have that element of it too. I think when my mum came to watch it, for example, she was never a Joy Division fan, but she loved like all the history of Manchester and, being like, oh, I went there in the 70s and I did that. And so it's very nostalgic as a play as well. Yeah, I think there's something for everyone.
Were you a fan of Joy Division before this? Did you know much about them, or were you new to the band and their music?
Yeah, I was completely new. I'd heard of Joy Division before, being from Manchester, and um, when I was at school, like as a teenager, there were some people that were in my group that liked listening to Joy Division, but it was never like my kind of style of music that I listened to. But then when I saw the audition for the role, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is the wife of Ian Curtis, and it's a big deal to Manchester. So yeah, it was all completely new to me, really. Like the Joy Division world, I'd say.
I'm a huge Joy Division fan, and I can kind of sometimes get bogged down with all the like minute details of Joy Division. I've read loads of books, and I'm kind of obsessed with the lore of Joy Division. But I think listening and seeing you in the play, and after watching films like Control and how Debbie Curtis was kind of portrayed in that, I think you did an excellent job of kind of portraying Debbie and how she struggled with that situation, and not only in Ian's kind of newfound fame, but also his conditions. And I kind of saw a mirror between you in New Dawn Fades and Control, as Debbie Curtis. I thought kind of you portrayed that really well, and I can just imagine as Debbie, you could kind of feel that emotion in the play, and that came across really, really well on stage.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Yeah, I think obviously that part of Debbie is, she was so young. They were so young when they got married, and if I just took from my own experience, when you are in a relationship for the first time or a serious relationship, like you kind of naive to it, and you don't really know what's going on or like what you should do, and so I kind of take from my own experiences and try to put that into Debbie and how she might have felt like at that time. And obviously, some references that I have, I don't really have a lot of references for Debbie. Obviously, she has a book, and what we see on Control and other films like that too. Um, but yeah, I think like what was important for me with those scenes is to try and make it as realistic as possible. Um, and I think also you only really get a small glimpse into their life within the play, and then you're on to the next thing. And that's kind of like Brian Gorman's style of writing is quite choppy. So you're in one scene and then you're in the next scene. So yeah, sometimes well, it's good because it keeps the play going, but I think also as like an actor and stuff, you're like, oh, that would be nice if we could see more of that. But yeah, it's not necessarily just about Ian and Debbie's relationship. It's about the whole story as a whole. So, but yeah, thank you. That's nice that you felt like that.
This is probably didn't happen, but did Debbie have any involvement in the play at all? Because I know obviously Peter Hook has introduced the play in previous venues, I think, but did Debbie Curtis have any involvement in this?
No, I don't think so. Not to my knowledge. No. No, not to my knowledge. No. And I think I don't know whether I've read it in the book that maybe she kind of with good reason that she kind of distances herself from a lot of that stuff because it happened so long ago, and it's her real life. So I imagine like getting involved with these types of things, it's just going to keep on bringing up all of those memories, and it must have been so hard and so traumatic at the time that it's with good reason maybe that you think that they do kind of distance themselves. And yeah, but that was great that Peter Hook introduced us. That was kind of a surreal moment, but that was really cool at the RNCM when he did us an introduction. But yeah, not to my knowledge that Debbie's been involved.
You direct this play as well, don't you? So how have you found that side of things?
Yeah, so it was my debut directing job last year on the tour. So I was co-directing with Brian. Yeah, it was great. I mean, it's something that I really enjoyed, and I think it helped because I already know the guys because I've been working with them for the last couple of years anyway. So we all have a really good relationship, and they're a great team. They're all super talented. So that was nice for me to be able to step into that role, knowing that I already had that relationship with them, and we worked really well in rehearsal together. And I just kind of wanted to make it more of an ensemble experience for us, and people being able to have their time to voice their opinions on something that maybe we've done in the past that they didn't feel like confident with, or they wanted to kind of change it up that year, the tour that we just did. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to make it yeah, an ensemble piece and for people to feel comfortable with what they were doing on stage.
So you're acting and directing. Is it tricky balancing those two roles out?
Yeah, yeah. Because obviously there's parts where I'm on stage and I have to kind of like self-direct, or when I was co-directing with Brian, he would step out and watch over. So yeah, it is kind of a balancing act of being on stage and off stage watching it and trying to be objective. Um, that's something that I'm working on at the minute as well, being able to do obviously with the next tour and being at the Lowry. So it's all a learning experience. I have directed before. I've only ever directed like children's shows. So transitioning from that to working with adult actors um, is a learning experience for sure. But I love it, and I just want to do more really. So yeah, if anyone's got any directing projects that they need, just also give me a shout.
Okay, so I kind of guess looking forward, Lauren, any apart from New Dawn Fades, obviously you've got all those amazing dates. I believe you're going up to Scotland and things with the tour, which is brilliant to see. Outside of New Dawn Fades, have you got anything in the pipeline? Any kind of future aspirations? Any directions you would like to go into apart from the directing side?
Well, I do have my own theatre company as well. So I set that up a couple of years ago with like plans to do things, and then things seem to get really busy, which is great. But now I'm kind of going back to that, and I want to create my own work. So I'm working on something at the minute, and yeah, writing the script and then trying to kind of get that up on its feet and touring around in lots of different spaces. That's my plan, and then obviously just being involved with different projects, different acting pieces, theatre pieces. I'm going back to Strawberry Jack this year, so that'll be on. And then just continuing to work with the theatre companies that I do, because I'm really lucky in that sense that the companies that I'm currently working with are all really great companies to work for and offer me like continued work. So yeah, that's my like future thing, is to be able to make my own work and to tour that around, and also give other actors the opportunity to work. That's kind of what I would like to be doing moving forward. And having the experience of doing lots of different shows would be great for me. I'd really like to do more like, well, I guess New Dawn Fades is like a period piece from the 70s, but I think doing more period pieces, maybe from like the 40s or the 50s, or like those classic plays, maybe like more like farcical things, maybe that I've not experienced doing on stage. Um, and then if I was to do, I wanted to do more TV when I was younger, but now I'm like, yeah, TV work would be great if I didn't have theatre things going on, but maybe like a series, a TV series.
I bet there's nothing like having that live audience in front of you. I bet that's a completely different experience, having that live audience, that huge, that all those eyes kind of looking at you. I bet that must be quite, well, I don't know, for me, quite intimidating, but I guess for you, it's kind of something you're used to now.
Yeah, you do just get used to it. I think if you like, I had quite a bit of time off theatre as well, where I was focusing more on like screen work. because I thought I wanted to do more of that. And then when I got New Dawn Fades again and I was back in the theatre world, I was like, oh no, I realised that that's where my like passion is within theatre, because I started within theatre at the Oldham Coliseum. And so yeah, it is a completely different experience. When you're up there, it's nerve-wracking, and obviously everybody handles that in different ways, but you have to be in the moment, and you can't see everyone out there because of the lights, so that helps. But I think if you're in the moment and you're present within the scene, that you shouldn't be thinking about the audience anyway. So those kinds of things do help you, I think, as an actor. But it's great. It's great to have the audience and for them to see everything live, and especially with things like Joy Division, the audience, they're so passionate about Joy Division, and it's really nice as a performer to be able to bring that to them, and you see how much they love it, and that brings me loads of joy as well. Sounds a bit cringy, but it's true. To see their joy makes me like happy.
Okay, so moving on. Obviously, this is a music podcast, and I just wanted to ask you about your music taste. So, what sort of types of music do you like to listen to? Are there any bands or artists that you're into at the moment?
Not bands really. I don't really listen to a lot of like bands, but I'd say my music taste is fairly eclectic. I like R&B, hip hop. I listen to a lot of like Latin music as well, house music, Afro beats. So it's varying, but something that you can dance to is always good.
So, being in New Dawn Fades, that's not got you into Joy Division at all. Have you been listening to Unknown Pleasures at home?
Um, Not necessarily. I think because of the songs, I don't mind Joy Division. I think my favorite is Shadow Play. And I was thinking about this when, like, we were chatting before the interview, and I still really like Shadow Play. Like, I think originally I knew more of Love Will Tear Us Apart. I knew that more, and now I hear that I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, it's good. But Shadow Play, I still really like Shadow Play.
And it's a good song to dance to. You can dance to that song, which is
Exactly. I think that's why I like it.
one of the rare Joy Division songs you can dance to.
Well, Lauren Greenwood, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been great. Lovely to meet you both.
So yeah, thank you once again to Lauren for that interview. I really enjoyed that.
Absolutely, and don't forget to check out New Dawn Fades, currently on tour up and down the country.
So thank you once again for listening to this episode of One More Music Pod. Again, do remember to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at One More Music Pod, so you can stay up to date with all the latest episodes. And until then, my name's Jack.
My name's Adam.
And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.